Hey, we're the basic bitches.
We bitch, moan, and complain about life's problems.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Ben.
Now let's talk about some shit.
Today's topic, shitty first dates.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay, you get to go first. You got the
Alright,
honors.
this happening. Okay, so we're gonna start with the very first date I ever went on. Like, the first legit date. You know, where, like, the guy actually, like, asked me out, like, let's go to Starbucks, let's get to know each other. So, I don't know what to call him. I'm gonna call him Richard. So that's actually kind of close to his name, don't you think? Anyway, so we met at Starbucks, and like I felt really awkward because I'd never done this whole like meet someone you don't know like in public before.
Yeah.
Where so I like
Besides sex.
you know what? Okay, I've never done that with someone I'm like going on a date with. So I like walk into Starbucks, completely walk right past him, go straight up to the thing, and I'm like, I want, whatever, Frappuccino, this big ass thing. And then I'm like looking around like, where is he? He's like, I'm right here. Like awkward.
You go, bitch.
So then we went outside after we got our drinks, and we're like starting to talk, whatever. Then this big group of Somali guys comes over and is like sitting really close to us and being like awkward. And I made a face because I'm very expressionate in my face, and it's hard for me to control what happened on it. And then he said something along the lines of, that's not cool. Like, they're just people like us. And I was like, eh. And then it just got awkward. I don't know. I probably said something racist. I'm not racist. I just say stuff without thinking. So that was a great start to the date. And he's like, want to go for a walk? I'm like, sure, I guess. So we're like wandering around town and like...
Showing off your sexy.
Yeah, and like the conversation wasn't like great because this guy was weird. Like he was like actually gay. Like I'm not into those type of guys that are all like show tunes and like, oh yeah, I do community theater at this place and like we're putting on Aladdin. I'm like, like I don't want to know that. I don't want to go to your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of another date you went on when you went to a play or whatever with a guy, and you're like, tell me your life story, and he did.
When was that?
And then he actually told you his life story, like how he got abused or whatever. You went to that
that one guy that was in Wind Ensemble with me. That was so awkward because yeah, we saw Rocky Horror Picture Show, and like he was like awkwardly hitting on one of the straight guys that was there to see his girlfriend in it. And I'm like, I'm right here, And then after we were done, like he's like, do you have any questions for me? That is the worst question you can ask someone on a first date.
Yeah.
Like I'm not asking you any questions because I don't care about you. Like I don't want to get to know you at that point if I stop asking questions. So, yeah, he asked me that. I'm like, tell me your life story, and super sarcastically, like that.
Yeah.
And he didn't figure out. He's like, oh, yeah, well, oh, my dad abused me when I was a child. He used to hit me all the time. I'm like, I don't care. Like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, oh, well, I just feel like I can talk to you. I've never actually told any of my friends about this. I'm like, I just met you.
That's
like,
so awkward.
He's like, want to meet up again? I'm like, no. Like, I don't want to hear more about your abuse.
So fucking weird. I mean, sorry you were abused, but I mean, that's so weird. You don't tell someone that on the first date.
It's just not okay.
But anyways, back to the other guy.
But yeah, so we just like walked around town. We walked past this, like, remember that elementary school that blew up last year? Or the year before?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I went to elementary school there. I'm like, okay.
Beautiful.
It's really hard for me to walk past it. I have memories there, and it's gone now. I'm like, okay, I don't have many memories from elementary school, but there go, boy. So yeah, we like got done with the date. He like awkwardly hugged me, and we like went our separate ways. And the next day, he texted me. He's like, I'm tanning. And I'm just like, good for you. And then we kind of never talked to each other again.
That's so awkward.
He was just weird. I don't know. I think he was missing a few chromosomes.
Probably.
I'm not judging. Oh yeah, and he was like the only reason why I have my manufacturing job. He worked at like some auto parts thing. He's like, the only reason why I actually got my job was because my mom and aunt worked there. Otherwise, they would never have hired me. I'm like, it's not that hard to get a job. Like, don't even.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my other, and this is probably the worst first date I've ever been on, was with this one guy. I met him off Grindr. He's a freshman at SCSU. I never go for younger, but I had just broken up with my boyfriend. And I was like, okay, whatever. He seems cool. He was good looking. So I was like, let's do this. So he came to my house and picked me up, which was already awkward because I don't like other people picking me up because I like to have the ability to be like, I'm going now,
Yeah,
I need my
exactly.
car so I can get out of it if I have to. But he was really adamant on picking me up. I'm like, okay, this is
That's
happening.
first of all very sketchy. Like if they're adamant about picking you up, then I'd be like, forget it, fuck you, bro.
Yeah, but I just went with it. So then we're
Because you've been.
mhm. So we going downtown, and it seems like we're actually having a legit date. Like we're talking to each other, and then we went to this Euro place. We got euros. He paid for my euro, so I'm like, okay, I like you. Anyone who pays for my shit, I like. That's how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having a pretty good conversation. And then he's like, want to go back to my dorm? And I'm like, I guess.
Oh yeah, I remember this now.
So I don't know, because he was just like, let's watch a movie. I'm like, sure, I like movies. So we got back to his dorm. First of all, it was awkward because he lived on the same floor as my ex and literally 2 rooms down from where his was. And I'm like, memories.
Memories, all alone in the moonlight.
It's beautiful.
Cats.
I've never seen that musical.
I only know that little chunk, and that's
I know, right?
it. Anyways,
So then we're he picked out this really sweet movie. It was about writers or something. So it was something about he thought I would which I
Yeah.
thought was really cool. Because a lot of guys are we're gonna watch what I want to watch,
and you're like, fuck it, too.
mm-hmm. So then it got awkward because we're halfway through the movie, and then he's all he slowly kind of crept under my arm. I'm like, what do you think this is? I'm not a top. That's not how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is pulling off my pants and taking off all his clothes and he's like, do you want to slip it inside me? I'm like, no. I'm a bottom. He's like, I'll top for you. I'm like, I can tell you don't know how to top, so no, you will not. And then he eventually after an hour of just rubbing against me really awkwardly, he was all okay, this is happening, and he just stuck me inside of him. And I'm like, this is really awkward. And he's trying to ride me on a futon. I'm like, no, this is not fun. So it didn't really work. And then he put on 50 Shades of Grey, which I found really awkward. And then he was kind of just jacking off. But he didn't finish. It was just so weird.
Did he jack off to the movie by chance?
I don't think it was really to the movie. I think it was more so to me.
But that's kind of awkward to have that kind of movie in the background.
It was just so weird. And then the worst part of it is that I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to go home now. And then he's all I paid for your meal. I deserve something out of this. And I'm like,
well,
no.
Why didn't you call me to pick you up?
I should have, but I panicked. I wasn't thinking. I should have been all come and pick me up. But
I would have. I've done it before.
I'm trying to be a nice person. So he's like, you're sleeping over. I'm like, I guess this is happening. So I did. And then I woke up in the morning to him jacking off ferociously. I've never seen someone do it so hard. And then he's like, hold my balls. I'm like, I don't wanna. He's like, hold them. He's like, now pull them, squeeze them. I'm like, no, I don't wanna. He's like, I can't get off unless you pull on them. I'm like, okay. So I'm pulling as hard as I can, trying to hurt him. And he's like, oh yeah, it feels so good. I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna come. I'm like, okay. And then he stood up and he came on my face. I was like, no! What made you decide that was okay? I was never like, ooh, I want you to come on my face. Like, you don't just do that.
I remember you decided not to go to classes that
And I'm like,
day.
I can't go to classes today. I have cum all over my face.
And then you texted me and you're like, are you free? I'm like, hell yeah.
I need to share my pain with you.
I remember laughing very hard like I just did.
Well, I'm happy that my misfortune makes you laugh.
Well, I feel like if the same thing happened to me, you would laugh too.
Have you ever been nutted on the face?
More like in my mouth.
Well, I do that by choice.
Yeah, but I had it against my will.
Yeah.
Because he kind of just shoved it in my mouth, and I was like trying to get him out, and he wouldn't get out of my mouth, and he came, and I got really pissed at him, and then I never spoke to him ever again.
Beautiful.
He was pretty much trying to fuck my throat. That was his intent.
You
and
don't like deep throat?
Hell no. That's the last thing I want.
Mm.
Ugh, speaking of deep throating, I had awkward experiences in dating as well, like many folk.
Well, you are a serial dater.
Yeah, / serial fucker.
Mhm.
Anyways, once upon a time, in a land called Minnesota. So anyways, I think I was like 16 or something like that. I don't remember. I was either 16 or 15. And no, I was 15. And I was talking to someone online on Meet.
Of course.
And like this guy wanted to meet up with me, and I was kind of like, eh. Like, I don't know if I really want to, but, like, he asked me a few times, and I was like, I guess we'll name him Charlie. So I met up with Charlie, and he had a very narrow, tiny face.
Sounds attractive.
Like, okay, his face kind of reminded me of one of those, like, sketchy-ass cartoons that are just, like, narrow like this, like, bleh. And then, like, kind of a small, like, face that just kind of comes out, like, it's all, like, I don't know, it's really weird looking. Anyway, so, I'm like, hey, how's it going, you know, whatever. And I met up with him at the food cart in the mall. And I sat across from him in one of the booths. And we were chatting for a while, and I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling this guy. He's very awkward, and he smells really bad because, like, he lives on a farm, or I don't know if he still does now, but anyways, he lived on a farm, and I could tell he did not shower before this date. Or if he did not clean himself well enough. Well, anyway, something, like, possessed him to sit in the same booth as me. And I'm like, okay, this is close for comfort, but I go with it. And we're just chatting, you know, keeping it casual. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just shoves his tongue down my throat. I didn't ask for it. I was just sitting there minding all my business. And then he just goes for the kill. He was like a lion in the wild looking for its antelope. Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. He just went in for the kill.
I think that's just a normal first kiss.
No.
That's how I do my first kisses.
So you just lunge at the person and just stick your tongue down their throat?
Yup.
That's not healthy,
that'd
bro.
be so gross.
And it tasted like he hadn't brushed his teeth in 2 months. Like, I feel like I could taste everything he's drank, eaten. I could even taste, like, the farm life in his mouth. The farm was living in his mouth. That's what it tasted like. I was thoroughly disgusted. So shortly after that, I was like, oh no, I forgot I'm meeting up with some people. I don't know, I made some bullshit up. I gotta get going. I'm so sorry. He's like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. I ran to the nearest Victoria's Secret or Bath and Body Works, and I sprayed some shit on me. Like, anything that smelled really, really strong and decent, I just sprayed it all over me. I did not care what it was. It, like, just sprayed it all over. And after that, I ran into him a couple times, like in the mall after I told him I had to get going. So that was kind of awkward. And I can't remember if, like, my dad ended up picking me up or I took the bus home. Either way, it was very awkward. And I tried avoiding him as much as I could after that.
I'll do the same.
And then when I was 17, meet me again.
Yeah.
I was talking to two different guys. One was an older guy. He's like 24, I think. And he had a kid, which was kind of awkward. And I was, but he was really good looking. And, like, really good looking.
Like Javier, good looking.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
Like, I was overlooking the whole he has a kid thing. Like, that's how good looking he was. And then, there was another guy who worked with my cousin that I met on Meet Me. And I told my dad, he's like, well, I don't feel comfortable with you going out with someone who has a kid. So you can go out with the other guy, but not the one that has the kid. So the one I really wanted to go out with, I couldn't. So I sorry, I already forgot his name. I feel like it started with an M or a G. Well, his last name started with a G. I'll name him
Matthias.
Matthias. Sure, let's go with it. Sorry, I don't remember your name. We're gonna go with Matthias. That's how memorable he was. Anyway, so for our first date, well, he lived like 30 minutes to an hour away. Is that how far it is from here to there?
Yes.
Well, I told you the town before we started.
Yeah, it's about
this.
30 minutes away.
Yeah, 30 minutes. And my dad brought me, and we did bowling, and we were going to go to a movie, but, like, the movie I wanted to see wasn't playing at that theater. So I was like, well, then. He's like, do you want to go back to my house? I'm like, sure, why not? So we go back to his house, and all of a sudden, like, he, like, is wanting to make out with me, and I'm like, no, this is going too fast, and he, like, pressured me to have sex with him, so I did, and it wasn't even that great, because he had a really tiny dick. Like, micro penis.
Yeah,
like,
I've been with one of those.
I swear, it was like 3 or 4 inches. It was not that big.
So
it was like a stub.
Yeah.
And he also, I didn't tell you this part, he also had me, like, suck on it. And I was hitting all bush. I was like, bleh. And I got really awkward after that. I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, I told you I didn't really want to do this on the first date because I don't want to be, like, you know, a slut. I'm trying to, like, that was when I was trying to avoid my slut days and shit. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then we went on one more date after that. And I can't remember, I think he was like 20. So he wasn't that much older than me. And his mom comes over. I think she was dropping off his, like, younger brother. And she, like, kind of looked at me and she was like, I hope you turn 18 soon. I don't feel comfortable with you dating my son. That's not okay for you to be that much younger than him and all this other shit. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. It's like, this is fucking awkward.
It's not your fault. He's the one that's older.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, he's the one that wants to go out with me. Sorry he wants to be with someone younger. Sorry I can't help my age.
He the pedophile.
So anyway, so after that, I tried to get together with him a few other times, but he always made up excuses, or he couldn't borrow a car because he didn't have a car at the time. I always had to go down there, and he would never try to find the way, like, a way to get down to see me. So I'm like, you know what, this isn't working. I'm, like, kind of sick of this whole back and forth thing. I'm not really feeling a vibe between us anyway, so bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. And, like I was telling you before, like, I think it was a year or two later, I still had him on Facebook. And I saw him post, like, I'm going on my first date in, like, the first, like, 5 years or whatever. I haven't been on a first date in, like, 5 years. And then I commented on that shit. I'm like, bitch, we went on a date about a year or two ago. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And he said the same bullshit when we first went on a date on Facebook. So it's like, what the fuck are you playing here? I deleted that boy. Like, hell no.
You love starting Facebook fights, don't you?
Hell yeah.
That should be another one of our podcasts. Facebook fights.
The only one I could talk about is like my family shit, and oh my god, I don't even want to get into that.
I know, right?
Ugh. But anyways, that's pretty much the.
You okay?
I was gonna say that's pretty much our dating life.
Speak for yourself, bitch. The
We-
majority of mine aren't that rapey.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. So much regret.
I know, right?
So much regret. I'm glad a lot of my like youth was just hookup, because if I had more stories like that, I'd be like, wow, dating sucks.
What's the point of even dating when you can just have random pain?
Anyways, that wraps up our, podcast. Thanks for coming, folks. Be sure to flirt with our subscribe button.
And fondle that like button.
Yeah, fondle it hard.
Oh, yeah, I can take it.
Yeah, you want to tickle it? You want to tickle its underneath? We also have blogs!
Check them out. We're kind of funny.
Sometimes. When we try to be.
Me more than you. I mean, what?
What?
Nothing.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you.
Also, check out our Twitters.
We tweet all the time.
But not really.
Yeah.
But you should check it out anyway.
Mhm.
I also have a Snapchat. I still think you should add your Snapchat, but whatever.
Comment below if you want my Snapchat. I left a dirty snap. Wink.
Oh, that's attractive.
I mean, what?
Alright, thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.